So let's look on the right side of our screen here. So this is moving my motif. I can move it with my finger if I want. I can use my 2 dials if I want. Let's put this one. Now what this one is doing is I'm actually increasing the size. As you can see, I'm at 117%, 120. With embroidery designs, there is a limit on what you can increase or decrease, and it's 20%. Do not go above that, because when you stitch it out, you may have gaps in your satin stitching. If you go, say, lower than 80%, so let's go down. If I went lower than 80%, what will happen is that your satin stitches will start stitching on top of each other, and it'll create a nest underneath. You'll be very unhappy with your results. If you're requiring something larger or smaller, most digitizing companies offer different sizes. It's better to pick a size that's close to it and then adjust it. So I just tap back on that and it reset it to its original size. Let's go to this one. Now this one, if I use my top one, interesting, the width of my motif is getting wider. I can hit it, bring it back to 100. So let's say I want to make it taller. Just hit this dial, and I'm actually making it longer. Again, the 20% rule comes into play. So I could actually make it quite skinny and tall. Or just tap on it and bring it back to its original size. Let's go to our next option. So I'm going to select this option here with my top dial, and this is my rotation. So it's telling me how many degrees I'm at, 34. Now you'll notice that the outline of my hoop immediately went red. That's telling me that I have done something that needs to be addressed. In this case, I've rotated it, but part of my embroidery design, let me magnify this, is actually off my hoop area. So, okay, let's go back, and now you'll notice the red has gone. Very important. So it's nice, it's a warning system that you have actually moved your motif, or you've done something that's outside that embroidery area. If I tap on it, it brings it back down to 0. Our next icon is our flip. So you'll notice here that it's facing to the left. If I hit here, it's now facing to the right. So it's a vertical flip. This is a horizontal flip. Now my leaves are upside down. But if I want, I could flip them so they're on the left side. And there I'm back to where it was originally. This top one here is going to return me to my previous screen. In this case, it'll go back and I can actually add another motif. This one I can add another motif if I wanted. So the difference between these two here is I'm adding more to this current layer. This is just taking me back. I can go into here. Let's say I want to add this little motif here. And it's actually starting a brand new one. So again, this will exit out of this and I can do a new design. This one will add a motif to the existing design. So let's say I add number 2. So a couple of things are going to change immediately on my screen. It tells me that I have more than one layer. So when you're adding motifs to an embroidery, your first design you put on is what I call layer 1. Anything added will be layer 2. You may have a layer 3, layer 4. This is telling me that the active layer is number 2. So whatever I do, I'm affecting layer 2. Well, what if I want to do layer 1? So that was layer 2. Let's go to layer 1. Now let's watch this very carefully. This means that I have everything is linked. So if I touch this, I move everything together. It has grouped them together. Let's tap it again. Now I'm on only layer 1. And I can move layer 1 wherever I want. Let's go down a bit. Again. Now layer 2, I could probably move this up out of the way a bit. Although it's still over top here again. So you want to cycle through your icons. Everything is grouped together. So when I move it, it moves everything together. This is important in digitizing, grouping. I can actually get rid of layer 1 just by hitting the delete. And that leaves that one back. So this is my layer 2 that I added, but now it has become the only layer because I deleted layer 1. Well, let's do a duplication. Just by hitting this button right here, I'm duplicating whatever I have on screen. And my layer button has become enabled in my garbage can because now I've added something extra. Now keep in mind, you want to be careful that I'm on layer 2, so this is my active one. Let's flip this around. So I'm going to move this one down here. Make sure I stay inside the embroiderable area. Now everything is linked. So I have that little like recycle button. I want to go to layer 1. Let's move him out of the way a bit. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to make him a bit smaller. So let's decrease my size. Let's go to 90%. Yeah. Let's go to, I'm going to delete this one because I want my adjusted design to be duplicated. Do I want to? Yes. Now I'm going to duplicate that one. We're going to turn it. Now I can move this down. And sometimes I actually like to use my knobs to move it. So let's move our design down a bit. I actually like to have it coming right off this leaf, so it looks like that stem's coming behind the leaf. I like that. I think that's exactly what I want. And there's both my designs, so that actually makes a very pretty design. I like this. Let's go ahead and save this. And I'm going to hit the save icon. Now where do I want to save this? I'm saving it on my USB, and it's telling me that. There we go. We have now saved it. This button here, now if I had a larger hoop on here, let's say the mega hoop, I could do endless design. So it's going to repeat itself, and then I can move them. You can actually literally move them. But because I have the mega hoop on here, let's go to the maxi. Then I have a bit more room where I want to put it. There we go. So now I'm changing the number of motifs that I want. 2, maybe I want 3. I could actually get 3 repeats in that. So this would be really good in doing quilting in the hoop. Let's take this one. So this is telling me my dial is the zigzag. This is my straight stitch. What this is going to do is I'm moving them further apart, or I can move them closer together. So if I look over here, I can see that I'm nesting them, which might even be nicer when you are doing quilting in the hoop. Let's just say okay to that. Now if I was ready to stitch, I would hit the check mark. Now it's telling me to put my hoop on. One important thing about the Berninas is that you wait until the machine asks you to put the hoop on. Now I don't have a maxi hoop here, I only have an oval. And it's going to tell me that my design will not fit in here. 2 things. I have my flashing warning symbol and my embroidered area is now red. So let's go back here and let's remove my repeats. Oh, look what just happened there. So when I came in here, I originally had this set from the previous one. Everything is over. I've got my red warning here. I want to put that in my oval hoop. This has auto-reduced it and centered it for me. So this has forced my multiple designs inside the hoop I've selected. Let's go OK. Excellent. Let's hit the check mark. And now we've gone to the stitching or the embroidery screen, I call it.